That'll do.
What is going on here? Oh dear.
Okay, Cat.
What have you done now?
Well, it's not working right. It should have gone directly. Should have gone right into your song, and it didn't.
That's
So
That's a really good decision the YouTube algorithm made just right now.
I don't know. All right,
Funny.
we're gonna
Stop
get
it.
there. What is going
Don't.
on?
Don't do it.
Oh. Honestly.
Oi, I've got something important to say.
Well, hold on 1 second.
No.
Let's get an official start here.
Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that can be. Let's talk about fish. Fish. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Instrumental break. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. 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 Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish.
And
Yeah.
there she is. There's KassCee Bee. There's KassCee Bee.
Here I am.
Lee is with us this morning.
And I've got something I want to say.
Well, let's have at it. Go for it.
KassCee,
Yes.
Sue and I, we missed yesterday's live stream, so we watched it back, and we both sat there and just looked at you, and we both at the same time said, look at her blossom, look at her bloom, look at how wonderful she has become over the past few days. And what an absolute delightful addition to the channel you are.
I appreciate that, Lee. I didn't do anything, though. I just sat here.
That's it. Mary.
Yes, sir.
You know our relationship. I absolutely adore you, and it's wonderful now to have KassCee Bee join you, because she's an absolute delight.
Yes.
Or am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
No, I'm not, am I? Because I'm
Nope.
brilliant. I'm bloody brilliant. Yeah,
You are the brilliant Lee.
Yeah. So if I say she's awesome, she is.
That's right.
There we go. And I've said I'm off now.
I will continue to
We
try
love
to
you,
do
Lee.
that.
We love you.
You
You know,
don't
you're
love-
one of the reasons.
You don't love me as much
Oh, I
as I
do.
love myself.
Hey, you're one of the reasons I watched this channel in the beginning. When I'd see you and Ro, I loved you.
You don't love me as much as I love myself. It's because you're mental.
This channel in the beginning. When I see you and Ro,
It's
That's
not
why
my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
I'm on mute.
Yeah.
I'm muted. That's not me.
KassCee.
Yes, Lee. Yes, Lee.
Keep up the brilliant work, my darling, because you are a tremendous asset.
Well, you bring me alive a little bit there, Lee. So
Take it. I thought you were going to blow me a kiss. I said,
well,
there we go.
There you go.
Job done. I'm happy now. I can go because I'm happy now. So off with this nonsense. Off with this nonsense. Go on, carry on. You don't need me.
Thank you, Lee. God bless you.
we always need you, Lee.
You make us smile. You make us laugh.
Yes. Yes.
And then you confuse us.
He keeps us on our toes. Oh, I don't think I said good morning to I Got Snacks.
We got a whole bunch of people here, don't we?
Yeah, we've got a Friday crowd.
Hey, Thomas, Lee was saying he joined and did not get a green badge. Could you check the membership and see if you can fix that? See if he's in there.
Oh, yeah, there's the Discord link, too. I haven't joined in on it.
Yeah, it hasn't really kicked off yet. We've got about a dozen people on Discord, but we really haven't got any conversation going yet. So,
Yeah.
hi, Tommy Denda.
I think you just need to announce.
Oh, is it Tommy? Yay. Haven't seen Tommy in a little while.
Your audio.
Really?
I don't know what the problem is.
Is mine okay?
Yours is okay. Cass is
okay.
I'll just type everything today.
All right. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
We just have to pay attention because it's
Do I need
kind
to
of
speak up? Do I just need to speak up more?
there's something funny about the sound. It's like you're in a tin can or something. It's
Oh, well,
strange.
that's not good. Maybe find earbuds and plug in, but
I don't know. You had some questions for yesterday, Cass. Let's get into some of them.
yeah. T-bone fishes. Fishies. Sorry, T-bone. What is the difference between a water column plant and a rooted plant?
A rhizome and a rooted. All rhizomes are rooted, but not all rooted are rhizome. A rhizome is a plant that sends out shoots. We have a new member. Who is it? I can't tell.
Fortiers.
Okay, thank you.
Fortiers. And
Right.
okay. And Roman has a question about membership too when y'all get done with that.
So yeah,
Okay.
let me back up a little bit here. The rhizome simply means that it's a plant that grows by sending out shoots, and each shoot becomes a new plant. Not all plants grow that way. An acorus, for example, does not grow that way. Um, the plants that grow above water, like I'll tell you another one. The Potagetans don't grow that way. They're a bulb plant. They grow from a single bulb. Mercy.
Oh, Lee. Lee just gave you a super chat.
I see that.
Very nicely.
50 pounds. Mercy, Lee. Mercy. Thank you so much. That's what's called a sacrificial gift. And it absolutely is. I know their finances, and I know what that means. That's a significant sacrifice for Lee and Sue to do that. So we're deeply appreciative. Don't you dare do it again for another 6 months. Thomas, make sure that Lee has got his membership thing straight. I don't know what the problem is. He said he does not have a green sticker. Indoor Fishing has just joined. Welcome, Indoor Fishing. What else you got, Cass?
Did we finish the floating plant versus rooted plant?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. We also had Nicholas Grawl yesterday wanted to know what brand of heaters do we use, or Mary or me or you, Father Fish?
I like the brand that cost below $19.95. I bought very, very expensive titanium heaters. I bought heaters with independent sensors. I bought all kinds of heaters, and none of them last longer than any of the others. They all crap out in a year or two. So I don't see the value, so long as it's putting out the wattage. I don't see the value of spending a lot of money on a heater, because it really isn't going to last any longer or work any better than a cheap heater. Now, I will say this. There was a point where I bought a whole bunch of very cheap 400-watt Chinese heaters. And they were not made to be able to generate more than about 10 watts of energy. So they didn't do a thing. You could crank them all the way up and hold on to them, and they generated no heat. And it wasn't just one, it was a bunch of them. They were like $10 a piece. I bought 10 of them, wound up throwing them all away. couldn't even adjust them. They had the wrong sensors in them or something. The wrong diodes, I guess. But by and large, one heater's as good as another. I know there's some people who will swear by one brand or another, but if you've got a heater in your tank, particularly my tanks, which are very alkaline, for more than a year, and it's still working, count your blessings. I get a year to 2 years out of my heaters, and then they're trash. And I use 400, 500 watt heaters as well as smaller ones. But I use the big, powerful guys. And it's the same thing with all of them. They're just not made, unless you're going to spend a couple of $100 on a commercial grade heater. The stuff that's available to the hobbyist is basically trash. The only thing they've done is make sure that when they go bad, they shut off rather than stick on. And that's been a real blessing, because if they stick on, they boil your fish. If they shut off when they crap out, then at least they're not killing your fish. So that's what I got to say about heaters.
Yeah. Sharpie's models in aquatics says don't pay any mind to whatever the number on the heater dial says, and just set by whatever your thermometer says.
I don't understand the thing you said.
On
You have
the
an
heater,
echo. You said something about echo. I cannot make out what you're saying. It's like you're in an echo chamber.
okay. I'll try to get that fixed.
Father Fish, I know you're doing that, but Roman was asking again about the membership with the Patreon and the actual memberships again. He might not have heard it when you explained, like if you're a Patreon, you will get some of the benefits of the membership.
Well, a Patreon member will get all of the benefits of membership. At the $5 level in Patreon, you get all the same benefits.
Good morning, John.
Except for one, you don't get the badge, because the badge is put up by YouTube, and we don't have any control over that. At such point as we're able to move our chat over to another platform, we'll be able to universalize all of those features. For now, however, you will get all the benefits of plus an additional benefit. We're going to be doing interviews such as yesterday's interview with Alex as a Patreon only, a Patreon exclusive. And that will be once a week, special interviews with special people. It'll be an extended interview. It might be a clip from a stream, or it might be a standalone independent that will otherwise not show up on YouTube. I don't know if we might be able to do this for YouTube members. We'll try to set up a simultaneous Patreon membership, so you get the benefit of both. Keep in mind that that we prefer Patreon membership to YouTube membership, if only because Patreon takes 10% of your gift, whereas YouTube takes 30%. So signing up on Patreon rather than YouTube is a greater personal benefit to the Father Fish channel. But you will get the benefit of both. We will cross over. So people who are on YouTube membership will get the benefit of Patreon membership, which at this point will be these once a week special interviews. Try it again, Cass.
All right, testing, testing. Is that better?
No.
You can't hear me any better.
Yeah,
Okay.
what did you do different today?
I'm on a different computer today.
Huh. I can understand you. Go ahead and you got another question there?
I know I was just commenting on a comment or reading out loud a comment from the chat about heaters.
Yeah, they're talking GRB saying he likes blue therm. There are people who have their preferences, and that's fine. I don't have preferences. Sharpie is saying having heaters that last 20 years is bad for the company.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose.
Thomas showed a heater in the vlog, and that was one of the questions, like what was the equipment used?
GRB, I'm going back, but I'm not seeing what he's talking about. Blue therm. Yeah, I don't know blue therm. You know, it's certainly possible that somewhere in the past, some company made heaters that were made to last. I don't think any of them are today, but you know, there may be something out there I'm not aware of. I'll certainly grant that. I use a lot of heaters. I go through probably 50 heaters a year, and I buy all kinds, and I haven't found any that are better than any others, regardless of price. But if you got something better, I'm certainly open to trying it.
Yeah. Did you get all your questions from yesterday, Cass?
Yeah, it was just those two.
Okay. Because there's a couple this morning. One's from T-Bone, and he just wonders, with tiger barbs, how can you tell the male from the female? How can you tell a male to
A male
female?
and female what?
Okay.
A tiger
Tiger
barb.
barb.
How can you tell a male tiger barb from a female tiger barb? Well, when they're really little, the female tiger barbs like to play with dolls, and the male tiger barbs like to play with baseballs. So that's one real obvious, and also guns. The young male tiger barbs are gun enthusiasts.
They play cowboys and Indians.
Yeah, kind of. They're aggressive. The males are more aggressive than the females. The females, once they get big enough, the females will get it. They'll egg up. They'll get a lot of eggs. Their abdomen will show it. They'll get much heavier than the males. The females also tend to get a little bigger than the males. The males are much more aggressive. You can see a difference morphologically, but you've almost got to put them under a microscope to do it. If you look at the oviduct, it's the female has two little openings, and the male essentially has one. But that's a little hard to see on a tiny fish. Generally speaking, all right, here we go. Let's do this. I had a friend Merle Cohen was his name. Merle Cohen owned Aquarium Products. Aquarium Products was one of the very first major wholesalers in the country. He initially sold fish and dry goods, and then he began inventing product lines. Kick Out was one of his products, and there were any number of others. His company has been sold several times, and he died a few years ago. Golly, it's been maybe 10 years ago. But he told me a story once that goes to this issue. He was on a trip to Thailand for a conference there, and he wanted to get out and visit some of the farms. This was 25 years ago. He was especially interested in seeing how the Thai farmers were able to breed and grow out neons. Nobody else was doing it. So he found out which farm it was, and he went out to visit. And he asked around when he got to the farm about how they did this, and they pointed him to a little section of the farm. It wasn't little; it was a big section, but it was a very big farm. And he walked over there, and there was a huge long row of vats. The vats were like 40-gallon breeders that were on the lower level. And then on the level above that were little, essentially 5-gallon tanks, hundreds of them. And there was a child going from one vat to the next, picking up stuff and putting them in the top tank. And he went over and he said, said to the child, he didn't speak Thai, he had an interpreter with him. He said, how do you do this? I'm interested in talking to someone about the techniques that you use to determine the sex of these fish and to be able to breed them. And the little boy looked at him and said, "Oh, see, look." And he dipped out 2 fish and threw them in the top tank. He said, "One skinny, one fat, top tank. One skinny, one fat, top tank." Move down to the next one. One skinny, one fat, top tank. And then that was in the evening. In the morning, they took them out after sunrise. And there were eggs in there that were fertilized. And that's how they did it. They had a little child who could tell the difference between skinny and fat. And that's all they needed to know. One skinny, one fat. So there's my answer. One skinny, one fat. The skinny ones are the fat ones are females. Yes, Mary.
I think it was Fishon had a comment about it, saying that they have a long kissing courtship. I don't know where it went, but they had a video of it.
Okay.
Where did it go? I don't know. Okay. Did you get that one question, Cass?
Did you highlight me on it?
Uh-huh.
I
It's
have
all
a
right.
question, but I didn't see being highlighted.
Okay, this one's at 8:14. But go ahead.
From John? I got one
Uh-huh.
from John at
That's it. That's
Okay.
it.
You're welcome to say it if you want.
It might, let's see. Might be easier if you could hear me a little better. Except for I lost it. And I was asking you earlier too, well, after we do this one, about Daphnia. 8:14.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
John has, oh, here we go. Will chloramine dissipate like chlorine in aged tap water, and will it leave ammonia behind?
It will not dissipate. The whole purpose of putting ammonia in the water where there's chlorine is to change that chlorine molecule from a gas to a liquid. By combining ammonia and creating a chloramine molecule, it changes the chlorine gas to a compound liquid that will not dissipate, nor does the bond break. Now, if you use sodium thiosulfate, which is the active ingredient in all of the dechlorinators, that will break the bond and it will release the chlorine. The ammonia remains in the water, so you still have ammonia to deal with. It's not a substantial amount, and it's fairly easy to overcome, but that's really the solution. So here in Venice, I had a long talk with the water chemist in Venice, and he will not put ammonia in the water because he does not believe it's healthy for people. In the county here in Sarasota County, they do put ammonia in the water to bond with the chlorine, and they send out notices to everyone to not allow their pets to drink that water, as though somehow pets metabolize poison at a greater rate than people do. You might, if you have ammonia in the water and it's creating chloramine, you might contact your local water supply or municipal water treatment plant or freshwater plant and complain about it, because both chlorine and ammonia are extreme toxins, and it is not typically the case that great care is taken in the injection of these chemicals into the water system. So it's worth registering a complaint and doing it routinely until they change that. Chlorine is one thing. Chlorine dissipates. If you let the water sit for an hour or two, the gas will dissipate. Chloramine will not, which means you're forced to ingest both chlorine and ammonia at levels that can become toxic. Certainly become toxic for pets, according to the admonition of many municipal water supply systems. So, in addition to which, it's bad for birds, it's bad for fish, it's bad for any living thing, living animal, living pet that depends on water for its survival. So register a complaint if you have chlorine. Don't let it go by. Your complaint matters. And if enough people complain, then the policy will be reviewed. Do that. Don't let it go by. Don't ignore it. Register the complaint. Ask that it be explained. Dig into them a little bit on it. If you can get the chemist on the phone or go visit and talk to them, find out why they do it, and find out what the issues really are. And let them know it kills your fish.
Yeah.
And that you really don't want your fish to be killed by their water. So talk about it. Raise the issue. Push back. Pushing back is about the only power we've really got these days. You need to do.
Yeah, I would just add, if you're on city water, you probably need to check your water more frequently.
Oh,
You know what they're doing to the city water.
Yeah, and you never know. They can turn on a dime. Another thing that happens, it happens here, is that municipalities will buy water if they have their own wells, and for whatever reason, they're getting dirt in the well or whatever, they may buy water from a nearby lake or a nearby tributary, which means that in that case, they're going from deep well aquifer water, which is typically very hard and alkaline, to surface water, which is typically soft and acidic. And you can get just that kind of change coming out of your faucet from one day to the next. So find out about that as well. Talk to your municipal water supply people. Get to know them. Learn their names. Learn how they operate. Become friends if you can. Get to know them so that it is to your benefit to do that in order to be able to know what water you're putting in your fish tank, but beyond that, to have some influence over having better quality water.
Hey, Ward Dunlap wanted to know, will vitamin C break chlorine bonds?
Yeah, yes, it will. Vitamin C will dissipate chlorine. You're asking whether it breaks the chloramine bond. My understanding is that it does. If we've got a chemist here who can give us better information on that, I'd appreciate it. But I know that sodium thiosulfate breaks the bond. I am assuming that vitamin C does as well. But again, it's not going to take the chlorine out. I mean the ammonia. It's not going to take the ammonia out. You've got to do other things to get rid of that.
Cynthia says it might be easy in the USA to talk to your municipal or your for city water, but in the Philippines it's not that easy.
Well, Cynthia, it's kind of the same thing everywhere. I mean, there are municipalities here in the U.S. where it's not easy, and I know there are political considerations in the Philippines that exceed those of that we're suffering under here in this country. But unless the people speak out, nothing really is going to change. You need to find ways to do it. It may be difficult to do, but you need to find ways to do it. Getting to know the people in the water treatment system is one way to do that, and you could do it as a classroom project. Call them up and tell them you want to visit in order to explain to your children where the water comes from. That will give you an entry, perhaps, into the business of those people. Give you names and people you can talk to, people you can ask questions of. To try to find ways to learn more about what's going on, even if it is difficult. Obviously, we want you to remain safe. We don't want you to endanger yourself. And there certainly are governments that are so secretive and so private that they don't want their citizens interfering in government business. China would be a primary example. But the Philippines is a democracy, and it's ostensibly a democracy with a constitution. I know your president has gone after drugs, but maybe they need to look at the drugs that are being put in the municipal water system. So try to find ways to reach people who are involved in that. Try to find ways to build friendships, to make contacts, to do something as innocent as helping your children to understand where water comes from.
Yeah, Ward Dunlap said we don't have chloramine, but we have fluoride.
I'm sorry?
Ward Dunlap said we don't have chloramine, but we do have fluoride.
He also said that the fluoride has made his guppy's teeth quite strong and he's a piranha now.
Really? Really?
What does fluoride do to fish though? Like I use a filter system that removes fluoride and the chloramine and chlorine, but it leaves behind the minerals. It's a Berkeley water unit. I don't know.
Oh, let's do a little research here.
Yeah, they add fluoride to our water
Mhm.
in the city if you have city water. So
Now my daughter is an advocate.
fluoride.
She's advocating against that. She's done a lot of research and studies on it and what it does, and I can't get into all the details, but she's on that, on the the additives they add to our water. That's why we have this Berkey system.
Yeah, but my dentist says, we need it for our
Yeah.
teeth. So I don't know. There's like arguments to both sides, of course, as always in life.
Right.
And then it's just what do you feel more comfortable with?
Yeah, fluoride is a mineral. So in low concentration, it's not like it's an antibiotic. It is not an antibiotic. It is a mineral. It's an inorganic anion. It's a salt, fluoride salt. It occurs naturally, most commonly used to prevent cavities. The risks, it is a neurotoxin, which in high dosages can be harmful. Excessive exposure can lead to tooth discoloration and bone problems.
I always got the water with fluoride in it for my kids when they were younger, just to help with their teeth.
It occurs naturally in water. Medical News Today says that it occurs naturally and does not need to be increased in dosage. Naturally present in many foods, available as a dietary supplement. It's an icon form of the element fluorine. It inhibits or reverses the initiation and progression of tooth decay, stimulates new bone formation. Soil, water, plants, and foods contain trace amounts of fluoride.
Ward Dunlap is saying that he doesn't want it. He's made a fuss about it, and I guess it's stannous fluoride. It's a chemical compound that they're adding, so it's not the same as the mineral stannous.
Where Dunlap says fluoride is in tea and pink salt. VB23 says fluoride is good. In excessive dosages, however, it is not good.
Does it occur naturally in the well water, Father Fish?
It occurs naturally in deep aquifers, in heavily I want to say carbonated. That's not the word I want. In high GH water, where there's high hardness. I think what we need to do, KassCee, with your new computer is get a microphone. I think the problem is the microphone.
I can switch back to the other laptop if you want. Will that be better?
Yeah, it's really a bad. It's almost unintelligible.
All right, I'll hop off of here and go to that one, okay?
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Mary Page.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, D3V saying we got fluoride in our toothpaste. We don't need to put it in the water.
Yeah,
The effect
true.
on fish is probably marginal, unless it's in very high concentrations, and that is not likely to occur. So it's probably a non-issue.
There's millions and sun. Let's see. Oh, you were going to talk about, if you wanted to, about
Yes.
Daphnia. I was Color Guppies put me a great link this morning up for Daphnia, but I'm just wanted to know more about it. You know, all the
Well, Daphnia occurs all over the world in virtually every water system. It is a shrimp. It's an exoskeleton little critter that's small. There are various species that range in size. Many of them are larger than a baby brine shrimp. So it's a food that is larger than baby brine shrimp. Although there are some Daphnes, such as the moina, that are about the same size, a bit smaller, a bit larger, perhaps. They're a pretty easy shrimp to culture. They are, like many things, they prefer green water, and the easiest way to do that is to put a jug of water outside in the sunlight, put a little bit of fertilizer in it, or a dead bug, or a couple of leaves, or a little piece of banana, about anything. Now, don't do banana. You want to keep microscopic animals out of it. You want just the algae to form. So put a screen over it so you don't get spore from the rotifer or paramecium or amoeba or any of those kinds of critters. Let it sit out and it'll turn green. When it turns green, it's green from single-celled algae, and that is available then to you as food for your Daphne culture. You can make a Daphne culture by going out to a local pond preferably, and collecting a detritus from the bottom, bringing it back and observing it. If you have a tiny pipette and you're pretty careful and you got good eyesight, you can see the Daphne swimming around. They'll be the largest thing swimming around. Well, that may not be true. They're not as big as scuds. Scuds look like little shrimp. Scuds can get an eighth of an inch or more larger.
so they're totally different.
They're totally different, and they're much larger. A rotifer looks like a little teeny tiny ball swimming around. They're kind of round. A scud is sort of elongated with lots of feet on it. The Daphne is more rounded and has a mouth and swimmers.
Okay. Oh,
Look at it
before you
very
go, Will you drop the link again for KassCee? Sorry, in the middle of that. She's trying to come back up with us.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And now, what are water fleas? Are they the same thing as Daphnia, or is that scuds? Is that
Typically,
just another name?
water flea is a generic name. It can
Okay.
apply to anything. It could be either. It's not a scientific term. It's used indiscriminately. Different people use it to apply to different things. There she is. Hi, Cass.
So
Hi.
if you add them to your aquarium, can they just live in your aquarium and just like a natural food source, or do you have to just keep adding them? Will they live in the gravel?
They'll be eaten up. They swim in the water column. They're not like a scud that hides out on the bottom.
Okay.
So they're up in the water column swimming around, which means they're really not. You never find them, or find them very rarely, in bodies of water where there are small fish, because the small fish eat them up. So if you're looking to get some out of the wild, you need to try to find a body of water that does not have small fish in it, and you'll fare better. You can still get them if you gather up some mulm, leaf litter, that sort of stuff. You will find them in that. And then simply separate them out to the best of your ability in a separate container. Try to get 10 or 20 of them, and then start feeding them. You can feed them powdered algae or algae paste. Green water is best if you can culture some green water. And you can develop a pretty rich culture pretty quickly and easily that way. In fact, if you leave it outdoors, it'll do even better. Yeah, Cass.
I'm sorry. I was answering T-Bone. I'm left-handed.
Oh, that sounds better though.
But yeah, that's what I use. I've been using this for a few days.
T-Bone just said, KassCee, are you left-handed?
I am. I don't know why he would ask that though.
Funny. Yeah, I am too.
Are you left-handed? I didn't know that. I have a daughter that's left-handed. Cynthia said she's going to try your brine shrimp her culture of BBS next week as per your instruction. She will put a cup of salt and hope that she is successful.
Excellent. We're going to do a video on this as soon as possible. Want to try to get to it today. We're going to do an old timer's brine shrimp hatchery, which kind of leads into something else I wanted to get into today. Blake did a video, which if you haven't watched it, you need to.
Yeah.
It's 10 things you can find at the supermarket that are valuable and helpful in your fish room. And he names a number of really good ones. I wanted to kind of do an adjunct to that. Now, I don't have a list yet, but there are some things that are obvious. And I wanted to do it two ways. Number one, to add to his list of things you can purchase at the supermarket that are beneficial in your fish room. And one, of course, is coffee filters. Mm-hmm. Coffee filters are really a primary benefit to your fish room. If you're not using coffee filters, you need to. They have a myriad of uses, including cleaning the smudges off of the glass.
Yep.
On the inside as well as the outside of your fish tank. They don't break down when they get wet, so you can use them inside as well.
That sounds like a video.
Yep.
Well, the other thing I wanted to do is a list of items that are beneficial, helpful in your fish room that you can get out of your local dumpster. including brine shrimp hatcheries. There's a wide variety and range of brine shrimp hatcheries in your local dumpster that are of inestimable value in your fish room and will provide you with years of DIY delight. Who is this? Boat pond. Oh, somebody's got a boat pond. GRB has a boat pond. I have a boat pond. I love it. Has a permanent supply of Daphnia. You betcha.
I think Sharpies had one too. I think that was the other person that said they had.
Bill just walked in. You. I'm talking to a bunch of friends.
Hello, Bill.
You.
My
I know.
laptop is too low. I need to raise it.
We like to
Looking
get
down
to
that
meet.
low is like hard on my eyes.
Bill's our fish friend, our bird friend.
Oh,
Bill has birds. He's back from Connecticut and helps us out with our birds.
I lost 2 canaries.
You lost 2 canaries.
First time in probably 5 years I ever lost a bird.
Well, you don't know why.
I don't know. It was heavy breathing. I put some medicine in the water. Kept the next day it was nibbling. The next day it was just as it was sitting, it was dead, not rolled over or anything.
Wow.
But you never know.
True enough.
It didn't work.
So, Bill just lost 2 canaries.
Sorry, Bill. Did they
Hate
fly
to
away
hear
or
that.
did they just?
No, they
no, I think
Right.
they got sick.
got sick and died.
How long do canaries live? They live a pretty long life, don't they?
50 years.
7, Bill, yeah, let me guess.
Okay.
Let me mention it.
Around 7 to 8 years.
Beautiful little birds.
Do you have any eggs right now? Anybody sitting? Or is that what you lost?
Oh no, these were young birds.
Oh, they
Oh,
were.
no.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
they were beyond babies. They were
Yeah.
full grown, feathered, and the whole 9 yards.
but they had not started breeding.
No, and they're not going to start now
No,
either.
no, they're not, are they? So, do you have any eggs? Do you have any nests going? Are there any nests?
Huh?
Do you have any nests? Any eggs?
Oh no, nothing. I got 2 that I think are a pair. I put in the nests in.
Mhm.
I gave them some grit this morning, but I don't know. Nothing seems to be moving too good.
Nothing happening yet. Huh?
Nothing.
Well, we've been losing Bill to Connecticut, but he finally sold his home, so you're down here permanently now.
I'm down here now permanently.
Oh, good. So
When's another bird show?
I don't know. We'll have to look up the bird shows. We need to get around.
I don't think there's going to be any bird shows.
Probably not till January.
We had one bird show, and that was about 2 weeks or 3 weeks before I left. And
Right.
It's all
We just had Colin Barsby come in.
Hi, Colin.
Always got to say hi.
Let's see. Let me get.
I was super disappointed with the feed store the other day.
Oh,
I'm
what
trying
happened?
to drop.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
trying to drop links.
There was nothing.
Lori left, so if anybody out there can drop links, we sure do appreciate it. Lori's been doing a really good job at doing that, and so many others, but I'm trying to get these. I think I dropped Blake's link for the 10 things video, and I'm trying to get Colin's link now for his channel. Alex's link. My clipboard's still not working.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So I'm having to like manually go into the channel and get a video or a link, and it's a pain. And I'm too slow.
I want T-Bone. Come join us.
Yeah, let me get a link.
Colin, you could put yours on your tank. Well, it's so late in Australia. Well, it's Friday night. You can stay up late. You can show us your tanks. That's the other thing. Y'all don't have to put your faces up here. You can just show your tanks or whatever you're working on.
Yeah, I would like to get. I want to have a talk with Chevy about that. See if we can get her logo up or a picture of a tank. She didn't want to come on camera, but boy, would it be? It would be wonderful to be able to have her input on these streams beyond what she does now, and what she does now is substantially important. But it certainly would be great fun to have her participating in the conversation.
Mary, did you see the question from earlier?
Which one?
I'm gonna have to run back and look. I lost it on it's on my notes on the other computer.
Oh, okay. We got John's, we got T-Bones. Cynthia had one, maybe.
She was talking about fluoride. I mean,
Yeah.
about water supply.
I
It
don't
was
see any.
chalupa, no tomatoes at 8:32.
Okay. Oh, it won't go back that far. Sorry, Chalupa. Will you please post it again?
Yeah, it cuts off at 8:33.
Thanks, Colin. I don't know about high tech, but I'm sitting here with this and a phone and a tablet and
We're trying to do our best.
Okay, how about Nicholas Graw?
I was killing my laptop, so the laptop with the better camera is sitting next to me. I was killing it.
Nicholas Graw just dropped a link, probably maybe for one of his videos, and wants to know what kind of plant this is in this video. Okay, Cynthia said she was okay.
Cynthia made a nice comment about my blood type. My blood type is A positive.
There's T-Bone. Hey, T-Bone. How are you today?
Hello. Thanks for joining.
Hello, Cassie.
Secret, T-Bone. What is your secret?
T-Bone, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Always glad to have you.
So how's everyone doing?
No, we're struggling. We're struggling along today. We're not in all that great a shape. I'm not.
I'm better now.
I just checked my blood sugar and it's up over 200.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Do you need to, hey, it is 9 o'clock. Okay.
Well, I had a sandwich. It was 90 this morning when I woke up. I ate a sandwich and I didn't take a shot. I always forget to do that. I'm supposed to take a shot when I eat and I don't do it.
Yeah, I have the same problem, forgetting to take my vitamins.
Makes me crazy. And then it's knocked out all day.
Vitamin D.
And it makes me dopey, which is why I'm not so sharp today.
We're having microphone issues.
Am I?
No, I said, and then we're
okay.
having microphone issues. That was me.
Right. We're
So T-Bone.
struggling our way through the day. T-Bone, what's up with you? What's going on?
Not much. Just bought a new pleco yesterday. New bristle nose pleco.
What
He did ask.
What is it?
A bristle nose.
Oh, nice. I love bristle nose.
Yeah.
That
And a
might
couple of
work.
plants.
And a plant? What kind of plant?
I got a wisteria.
Love wisteria.
And ambulia.
Ambulia.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, those are good choices. That'll be nice.
They
Wisteria. Yeah, wisteria should jump up.
Yeah, they look good in the tank.
They do. They're
In-
really pretty. What other
Yeah.
kind of fish? What other fish do you have in that tank?
I've got a gourami tank, a dwarf gourami, and I've got a better tank. That's all yet.
Ah,
I'm trying to work on getting my partner to let me have that fourth tank.
ah. Yeah, the fourth one is the key. Once you get the fourth one, then the next 10 are easy.
That's what she said to me. One's too many, but 10's not enough for you, is it? I said no.
Right. Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you get to 4, that's more than 3. And 3 is still a kind of a minimum. 3 is still controlled. You haven't really begun to expand with 3. But
No.
once you get to 4, then that opens the door to 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 in pretty quick order. So before you do it, you've got 10. And then at 10, it's a matter of restructuring it all so you can add another 10 to get to 20. And then at 20,
And you gotta buy a new house.
then at 20, well, yeah, you need a fish room at 20. At 20, you need dedicated space to get to 40.
Yeah, she said I can have it, but we have to wait until we move.
So, yeah, Bill over here is saying you need a new house, right?
And the way I can get, she said I can have my own little fish room, and I can have as many tanks in there as I want.
There
All
you go.
right.
There you go.
All
That's
right.
it. That's what it's all about. Getting that fish room going.
Mm-hmm.
But we're stuck in this place for another 2 years.
Oh
Oh,
dear.
goodness.
Well, then
That's a
long time.
you can't put your life on hold for 2 years.
No, I know that. I'll work it out. I'll
All right,
get
what's your
around it.
secret, T-Bone? What's your secret?
What do you mean? What's my secret?
You said
How I
you have
know
a
you left.
secret. Mm-hmm.
Hey?
Right.
You
Colin,
wear your watch on your right hand.
Because why?
You wear your watch on your right hand.
Well, it's been switching. I don't know if you've noticed. I switch it.
No.
I've been wearing it on my left for like a month because I was working outside and something fell down into my watch and started giving me like a red spot. So I switched to my left.
And it didn't
Yeah.
feel comfortable, did it?
And then when I'm typing, I take it off usually.
Yeah.
But I've gotten like a rash that developed under my watch.
oh dear.
Left-handed people wear their watch on the right hand.
Colin
Yep.
Barsby,
Yeah.
Colin Barsby says, I'm still married. I have 2 tanks. Here's,
I was just about to respond to that.
yeah, here's the secret, guys. Whether you are a woman with a few tanks or a man with a few tanks, and your partner doesn't want you to have any more, the solution to that is really very simple. You make them go into the fish store with you, and then you just let nature take its course. It may
Yeah.
not happen the first time, but by the second or third time, they will say, "Gee, I like that little fish."
If you
And
can
you
get them
say,
to go with
"Wow,
you.
I do too. I love that little fish. I think that would be a wonderful fish for you in your tank." So
Well,
then
that's what
they,
there first.
they get their own tank, and that gets it triggered.
Right. Like my
Once they
husband
got
claims
their
this.
own tank, then you're good to go.
My husband likes this one because he says they flirt with him. The girls flirt with him. He goes over and talks to them, and they just flitter their little fins and act like they're, they don't realize he just wants them to throw him some food, but he thinks they're loving him. So I'm just kidding. They do love him. They do love him.
How do you know if your fish loves you or just wants food?
Good question.
My tiger follow me every time I walk past the tank.
Colin said she likes African cichlids, though. That's good in theory.
Fish streams have 19 tanks.
Uh-oh.
My daughter called me crazy yesterday.
It's not crazy.
Kids can be so cruel.
Oh, Alan Tooth says he's on the road.
Yeah, I see that. He'll be here
Be there at 10:30. All right.
Wonderful.
What kind of good
stuff? Have so many you rather have. Can't tell when you bring a new one. Oh, right.
That's right.
Right. That's the other answer. But see, by then you've won the war.
Right.
By the time you've got an unlimited number of tanks, it's no longer an issue. Bill has the same thing. It's birds.
Yeah, the birds.
Bill has, he has cages. What does your wife say about cages, Bill?
Get rid of them filthy things.
Right.
You don't need to grow up.
When you going to grow up?
Right.
Oh.
How much more growing up I am at 82. How much more growing up?
You think you've earned that right. That's funny.
Cut back. I am. They're dying.
Yeah, they're cutting themselves back, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well,
have you ever had anything like that happen before? Just like the first time?
I haven't lost a bird in probably 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So he's sitting here very disgruntled.
Yeah. I could tell. Well, it makes you start worrying. It's just like if you have fish tanks forever and you don't lose any fish and all of a sudden you lose a couple, it's like, oh no, what's gotten off balance? What's out of whack? Why is this happening? And then you worry about the rest of them. So the birds, same thing. But they were babies, right? Were they just baby?
They were young,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard.
No problems up till then? Like not off the
No, he
feed?
said they were doing fine.
Wow.
Just all of a sudden, crapped out.
And canaries are super sensitive to stuff in the air and stuff too, aren't they? Or is that a wives' tale where they used to send them into the mines?
Mm-hmm.
Into the coal mines. Yeah.
They used to do that in the war.
Canary in the coal mine.
In the old foxholes, the rat holes. They used to send birds in there in case they had gases in there.
Yeah. Think it could be anything. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming. I do that. Whenever something goes wrong, I'll name off every scenario you can think of. Some of them are ridiculous, but sometimes I hit it, just.
Oh, goodness. Ward Dunlop says rats killed my aunt's canaries. They were rare.
No.
And she went on a rat murder mission.
Yeah, I've had rats kill birds.
Thank you, J-Dog.
And it's only the male that whistles in the canary. The female doesn't sing.
Right.
It's only the male that sings.
Only the male that whistles. Correct. Yeah. And the canaries.
Oh my goodness. There's like 4 of the same links here.
Yeah, J-Dog posted your link. Let's see if I'd missed any other questions.
Yeah, bad air will kill canaries way before it affects people.
Welcome,
and they
Patrick.
were used in mines over here for centuries, says Sharpies.
Yes.
That's why they call it the canary in the coal mine. How's that phrase go?
I don't know, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think it's longer than that. Canary, don't be the canary in the coal mine. I don't know.
Like that, right.
Against the flow. Yep, they really used them in coal mines against the flow. Mad spammer strikes again. J-Dog.
Let's take a break here, guys. We've
Okay.
been at this
All right.
madness for an hour. Let me see if I can get
Yes, 9:12.
our
Okay,
two.
y'all. And T-Bone, maybe you can show us your tanks when he comes back, or you can show him while he's gone.
Yeah, I could do that.
Father Fish, your website is not displaying properly in the browser. Did you try the one that J-Dog just put down for Dunlap? Oh, God, I remember that, Alex. Sorry, I'll be quiet.
There's something different about the food. It was only 4 bags of carrot feed. That was 40-pound bag. Huh. That's all it was there. No millet, no anything. But 100 people are in line with dogs and cat shit. I don't know what's going on here. We're not doing right.
Having a bit of troubles, Father Fish.
I know. I was really afraid of that the other day. But I think so many people in there. I didn't want to hang around. I got out of there quick. Let's try this. One of their members. I got a bunch of parakeets. We got a bunch of quail buttons. Yeah. I got more buttons. To be with you again.
In the nighttime darkness, he is in front of me.
Show us your fish tank, T-Bone.
Okay.
There's a sound coming.
Show us your fish tank.
Foxy is still singing on my end. All I hear is Foxy.
Right.
Or who is
Well, I don't have a video for her, so we just got the audio.
Okay. Well, there was no audio before until you came back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was silent.
I don't know. Oh, I know. Well, that's interesting.
Let it be, and then let it be.
There's the dwarf Chlorine.
Let it be.
All righty. So there was no, it was, you didn't hear any of the music. That's interesting.
No.
I cut my mic off because I was talking with Bill, and I guess that shut down all of the audio for the channel.
Yeah, I could hear someone like munching on food or something.
No, that was, I don't know what that was. Weird. What is going on here? Alex is good, but his wallet hurts.
Yeah.
He transferred the pain from his mouth to his wallet. That ain't altogether bad.
Well, hopefully he's not in any pain physically.
Right. Right. Thank you,
The wallet
T-Bone.
can recover.
Good to have you with us. Where's Mary Page? She's still gone.
I think someone's got YouTube on in the background.
T-Bone.
Hey, no.
Oh no, there's somebody else here. No, there isn't. No. T-Bone, thank you for coming up.
Thanks for having me, Father Fish.
Good to have. It's wonderful to have you on the channel. Take care, and come on up and show us your tank when you get some new fish again. That'll be great.
Yep, I'll do that.
All righty. Take care for
All
now.
right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. I was also
Welcome back.
going to tell everybody. Sorry, did I interrupt?
No.
I just walked in and started talking. Okay. I was working on oh, okay. I was working on our Teespring store. Maybe Alex can help me with this. I'm putting in some designs. They may be a little bit different than the shirt, but it's still the same concept, but I'm redoing them or whatever. And once I get them made and submitted, how long does it take them to put up the link, Alex, where people can actually get them? Or anybody that might know about Teespring.
I think I was playing around with it yesterday, and I think, you know, it was like going live as soon as I made a design.
It did what?
I think like as soon as you make the design and hit submit, like it's
It's
live.
there. Okay.
Yeah. Then it would just be a matter, I guess, of sharing the link to your store, I guess.
So hopefully I'll have a link up finally.
Share it with me and I'll take a look.
Okay. Alex, is there somebody better, Alex? We heard of Zazzle.
Yeah, there was. I sent you the video yesterday, Mary,
for that one. What
that
was it
mentioned
called?
some others. Redbubble was another one. Shopify.
Okay.
Printify, but Printify, I think you have to have your own website and then like use Printify to print.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, I think Teespring is expensive. So,
well, we can do. We do have a website, so it is something we could do on the website.
Yeah, if you have your own website, then you might not want to use Teespring.
Maybe I can get Father Fish to. Oh, sorry.
You can use one of those other services.
Nicholas Grawl just dropped a link. He had asked us a while back about identifying a plant. I didn't know if we could put it up or somebody. He's trying to identify a plant. Let's see.
And I have Chalupa No Tomatoes question from earlier.
It almost looks like Val, but I don't know.
Yeah, that looks like Val.
Oh, this is the assassin snail eating the pond snail. Those things are vicious.
Well, see, it's a rhizome. You can see the babies coming off the mother plant.
That should be jungle Val.
Well, it could be, but it looks to me like it might be.
It's a bulba. Is that what they call it?
Nice.
Cebulata. Sorry, that's the word.
Might be Sagittarius too.
Yeah, not dwarf sag, but
yeah,
nice tank.
It's a
beautiful. Oh, that's pretty.
I bought a plant that looks just like that, and I think it was called Cebulata.
The infamous moss ball. Did you see that?
I have a little collection of moss balls in my bucket. See, I wanted to do a moss ball scape where like the whole bottom was nothing but moss balls. And then
I've seen that.
little mountains.
But that would be kind of expensive.
The snail.
Well, if everybody throws their moss balls away, let's watch this. That's cool.
I don't know what
those pond snails are good. Keep the pond snail. Don't let them get eaten.
It's too
She's
late.
staring at some bladders. Oh, well, there's a snail eater.
Kitty cat. My kitty cat's asleep somewhere.
Somebody asked me yesterday if I was ready for a kitten, and I said no.
No.
It probably ain't going to be long, though.
Oh, yeah.
That is a bladder snail, isn't it? I thought it was something else. It's a bladder snail on a straight rock or something.
That looks like a pond snail.
Yeah, it is.
If it is, they're good.
That's a
That
nice
is really
bunch.
pretty.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
really
Looks good.
nice bunch of Java moss.
Oh,
Very
that's
nice.
neat.
Hey,
Is that-
Fatherfish, I saw a new tetra that I haven't seen locally, only on like YouTube. It's like the glass tetra, and it has like neon pink and green on its fins.
Hmm.
I don't know.
What kind are those? Is that
I'll
the
have to look
candy
it up.
cane tetras
don't
right
know.
there on Nicholas's?
There's
Yeah,
a
that's what it
Rasbora.
looks like.
Oh no, they're not. I thought they're Rasbora. They're not. What are they?
I thought they might be candy cane, but I might be wrong.
No, I think you're probably right.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
here
I
it
am
is.
right? Okay. I think that
Painted
was who.
glass fish. I'll send the link.
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, look at that. Whoop, there we go. There we go. Done.
Shoot, I've lost my
Very
chat.
nice.
Sorry, y'all.
Thank you.
Sending a
Thank
link,
you, Nicholas.
Fatherfish. Link in chat.
Say what?
There's a link in the chat to the fish that I was talking about.
When the hell have I managed to lose my legs? Lose my chat.
I lost mine, but not for your reason.
We all lost it at the same time. I'm
Yeah.
like, where's my chat?
Thank you, Roxanne. All right, she's just talking. Candy cane. Okay. Oh, yay. I finally identified a fish right. I'm learning, y'all. I know what bristle nose are. I've gotten that far.
I don't know, half the tetras.
This is a new fish to me. Painted glass fish is what they're calling it. Yeah, there it
Okay.
is. And they come
Yeah,
in different
here-
colors.
They are
Are they-
dyed.
They're dyed.
It's a glass tetra that's dyed. So they put them in different colors dye to get these different colors. Some
I
of them
haven't
are
seen them though.
injected. They're artificially colored. That's not that a color does not occur naturally. And it's I think it's done by injection. They're pretty, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a glass tetra, a regular plain old glass tetra that has
Mhm.
dye injected in it to provide that marginal coloration. I don't know what the dyes are, but they're really pretty effective. It's a nice color, iridescent colors.
Alex says they're illegal in the USA.
We
Tattooed
get 'em.
fish.
We can still get them. I get these all the time. Maybe they're illegal in Washington State.
Okay.
I haven't
But-
seen them at any of my local fish stores yet.
Well, typically don't carry them. I carry them occasionally. I mix them in with the glowfish for glowfish people because they kind of go nicely with the glowfish.
Oh, he's saying tattooed fish are illegal. Gotcha.
I
Come on
haven't
up, Alex.
seen, I haven't seen tattoo
He doesn't
fish.
feel well.
I haven't seen tattoo fish for a long time. We used to get them all the time. I
Yeah,
haven't seen-
Benny's Aquatics did a video a while back on tattooed fish, like showing how bad it was. But he had the ones that were done in the other countries where they had literally put like money signs on them, on
Yeah, right.
parrotfish and stuff like that. Yeah.
We used
You're
to
gonna
people
laugh.
order them for Valentine's.
I thought I was
Oh.
in StreamYard and I was watching the video still.
Nicholas, I like your tank. It looks good. Speaking of snails, Oh, Alan Tooth is bringing you some ram's horn snails.
Oh, good. Yeah, he said he had lots of them.
Said he has a few red ones.
Yeah, Chevy Fish said the color disappears.
Yeah.
In the painted glass fish.
Let's see. One more to 50 likes, y'all. Somebody hit that like button.
Oh, we'll get there. We have 30 minutes to get
Thank
there.
you, T-Bone.
Mine says 50, Mary.
Oh, okay.
But mine's always like
there.
lagging too.
No, we're there. It's there. Yay. Good job, guys.
I don't usually say what the likes are because my number's off.
Yeah. I have to go out and come back in.
52.
So, what are you and Thomas doing today, Father Fish? You got any big projects coming?
I don't know. I want to try to get a video or two done. Alan will be here, so that'll help us get the place neatened up a bit.
Yes. Nicholas Graw wants to know if anybody has any rare fish they'd like to share with us. What's your rarest fish, Father Fish? The siren, or that wouldn't be your rarest, would it? Or
what's interesting? Well, it is kind of rare, really. I mean, there probably are not a half a dozen shops in the country that have one.
Yeah,
we've got 8 or 10. We got a lot of them.
Oh, hey, Joe's Tips and Tricks just sent you a super chat or super sticker.
Thank you, Joe, for your $3.99 super sticker. Thank you all very much. The super stickers are a big deal. I'm using that. I got a check this month from YouTube, and that's going to be a good chunk of that is going to be Thomas's bonus, since he's working on trying to get this channel built. So it's one way I can reward him and to help him increase his income. I'm not paying him very much, but we're hopeful that's going to improve. So this is one way we're going to improve it, by sharing the YouTube bonuses with them. So it's kind of a big deal. It helps a lot. Every little bit. Who's coming in? We have a customer coming in, and no.
And T-Bone
Thomas is not here.
Sent you a super. T-Bone sent you a super sticker too.
I'll see that. Thank you, T-Bone. Thank you, T-Bone.
Hi, Father Fish. I have a question for you from Chalupa No Tomatoes.
Yes.
It was asked earlier when we were on the ammonia question. Fishless cycle, trying to get ammonia going. Should I just feed my imaginary fish or overload to see what it can handle?
No, put some fish in the tank. Put a couple of fish in the tank, 2 to 5, depending on size. And then do not feed them. At least not for the first couple of days. And then when you do feed them a very tiny amount. The best way to get the ammonia cycle is going is with fish. Put some fish in.
Father Fish, do you want to try to do one of those, the ammonia cycle, as like a vlog or a short clip?
I
think that might be good to have.
Yeah, everybody talks about it. Everybody wants to do it, and everybody does it. And it never seems to really get through.
I think you need your own ammonia cycling video.
Ammonia.
We want to know how Father Fish does it.
I throw fish. Well, I do dirted tanks.
Right.
So I have a nitrifying cycle going immediately. I throw fish in my tank day 2. Not a lot, a few. I start feeding approximately day 5. For the first month or so, I feed once a week. Very small amounts once a week. I add fish week 2 or 3 so that by the end of the month, I've got 10 fish or so in my tank. Now that would be like a 40, 29, 40, 55, that size tank. A 10-gallon tank, I would go a little slower, although the tank I did that we were going to give to Kim, which is still sitting here, I put fish in it day 1, 3 or 4. By day 5, I had 10 fish in that little 10-gallon tank. We have not lost a single fish. We did not put food in, however. We depended on the tank to generate food for the fish, which it did and does. Generally speaking, little fish in a tank with plants and a deep substrate do not require feeding. The balance in the tank, part of the balance is to create food. The tank naturally creates food for its inhabitants. They're part of the cycle. The cycle takes care of every part, and it's a cycle. It's not a straight line. It goes around. It's like a loop. And every aspect of that loop gets its needs met. That's what a cycle is. That's what cycling the tank means. It means that every living thing in that tank gets its needs met on a routine basis. So the tank actually does grow food in the form of algae and microscopic life. That provides food for tiny fish. For bigger fish, it doesn't work quite that way. But for little fish, it very much does work that way. You get in trouble when you put so much food in that you overwhelm the cycle. You put so much nutrition in there that the nitrifying cycle can't deal with it all, and it begins to rot and deteriorate and fouls the water and kills everything. When that happens, you leave it alone. Let it sit there. You've screwed it up, so leave it alone. Let it sit there for a week or so until it gets that balance established again. And then start again. If your tank fouls, if it goes bad, if everything dies, pull out the dead fish, pull out the dead plants, and let the water sit there. Let it sit there for a week. If it stinks real bad, change half of it. But let it sit there. Don't destroy it. Don't tear it up. Don't dump it out. Let it sit there. It will work all that stuff through. It'll achieve a balance. If you've got some plants left in there, they'll start growing again. You can add a few more fish, and they will be fine, so long as you don't foul it again. If you're losing fish in your tank and you've done everything else right, then what you have done wrong is feed your fish. That's what you have done wrong. Stop feeding your fish. That's a guaranteed way to kill them. The tank provides food for tiny fish, and it's very adequate. It's plenty. It's more than enough, provided you have a deep substrate and you've got plants growing in there. If you're doing that and you put a few fish in, then you have a balanced tank. Give it a chance to find its balance. Give it a chance to get everything in harmony with itself. You're not required in that process. All you need to do is put the elements in place and let it do its thing. It will do its thing. It will balance. It will achieve harmony. It will be a delight to the eye and a joy to the heart. Let it be. Next question.
Alex
No question.
says that
Oh, yeah.
you just like starving fish. That's the word on the
I
street.
do. A
Yeah.
hungry fish is a healthy fish. Now, let me just say something about that, because that's a fair criticism. It is possible to starve fish. So you need to keep an eye on it. It does occasionally happen that a fish will get a hollow belly. More often than not, that hollow belly is not a function of a lack of food. It's a function of parasites. So you need to look at it more carefully. What I try to do with fish that have a sunken belly is take them out and put them in a separate tank. Try to keep an eye on it. I try to feed them. If feeding does not solve the problem, then you likely have a parasite or some other kind of organic problem, like organ failure or some such thing. Give you an example. Very often, L-series plecos will come into the country that have been starved. They have been kept in environments that have no nutrition, sometimes for months at a time before they get to us. When we get them in, no amount of food seems to be able to help. And the reason is the enzymes in their gut have died. So what do you do about that? You put them in with other plecostomus that are healthy and eating well, so that these guys can eat the waste from those other plecostomi and replenish their enzymes in their gut. Once they do that, they'll start eating and they'll be able to process their food. There also are parasites, like tapeworms, if you will, that can starve fish by eating most of the nutrition that it swallows. It's a trial and error process to determine whether that's the issue. Sometimes those worms will appear at the anus where they're coming out, and if you see one, then you know you got them. And then you have to treat. It's difficult to treat if the fish is not eating, because no amount of external treatment will kill an internal parasite. You need to get the medication inside them. You can do that mechanically. You can do it with a syringe and squirt the medicine into their belly. If they're big enough, you put the medication in like a little feeder fish. Stick it in its throat and let them eat that, and they'll get the medication in their belly. You mix it in some food that they're going to eat. If they're not eating, you need to try to get that medication into their gut. And good luck with that. What else?
Did you get fish ons? They were asking about bumblebee gobies. I know Alex has bumblebee gobies, but wondered how long they can go without eating.
I was just going to say that I think this discussion probably applies to most tropical fish, but not like larger species of fish.
Well,
Right.
that's right. That's right.
Right. For small fish in a deep sand substrate, heavily planted, father fish style tank.
Let me say this. The question was, how long can they go without eating? That's the wrong question. The question is, how long can they go with you not feeding them?
Yeah.
They're two very different questions.
Right.
A fish that's in a balanced tank is eating all the time. They're eating algae. They're picking on the plants. They may be eating scales off of other fish. It happens. They're eating microscopic life. They're finding food that's being naturally produced in the tank, so they are eating. The question is, how much food can you put in the tank before you upset the balance of the tank? That's a better way to look at it.
Yeah.
And if you think about it that way, then that will help you to control your feeding. The reason people who go on vacation come back to tanks with dead fish in them is because they have invited their neighbor to come in and feed the fish. And no amount of telling that neighbor to feed them just a pinch once a week is going to make any difference. Because that neighbor is going to come in and the fish are going to all come up in the tank, up to the glass. And he's going to say, my God, they're starving to death. Look how hungry they are. They're starving. And I'll put some food in there and they'll eat it and they'll still be hungry. They'll still be looking for more. So they'll put a little more in. In one day, that neighbor will have put enough food in that tank to completely break down the balance of the tank and foul it. So by day 2, the water is a little cloudy and the fish are still hungry. So he throws a little more food in there and they eat it. So he knows better now that you've been starving your fish and he's helping you feed your fish so they won't be starving anymore because you obviously don't know how to take care of fish. Obviously, because your fish are hungry. By day 3, they're not eating anymore. The water is like milk. And he's wondering what in the world happened here. There must be something wrong. Is the heater cooking everything? Has the water gone bad? He doesn't begin to believe that all the food he put in there has caused the problem. It must be something else. And then by day 4, he's pulling out dead fish. By day 5, he's here in my shop saying, I need to replace some fish that I was keeping for my neighbor. So we begin to go over it. And we discover that he's been feeding the fish, which he was supposed to do. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's done exactly what he was told to do, and the fish died. Not my fault. My neighbor, who keeps the fish tank, obviously doesn't know how to keep fish because they're all dead. Fish can't go without special care every minute of every day. So I start teaching him how to keep the fish. Usually what I'll do is say, look, call your neighbor, tell him you killed all the fish, and you're going to leave it alone, And when he comes back, you and him are going to come into Father Fish. We're going to get the tank straight. We're going to get more fish. In the meantime, unless you want to learn how to take care of fish, just walk away from it. Call him up and tell him it's all dead. And when he comes back, you'll make it right. Now, sometimes they'll take it very seriously and say, well, gee, did I really do something wrong? And I'll say, yeah, you really did something wrong. Do you want to learn what it is? And if they say yes, I will set up a little tank in their home just for them so they can learn how to take care of fish. Don't let your neighbor feed your fish. Rule number 1. But I'm going to be gone for 2 days. Your fish will be fine. They will not starve in 2 days. But I'm going to be gone for a month. Take these plants, put them in your tank. Don't worry about it. Put your lights on a timer and let it go. If you want to have your neighbor come in to make sure that the pumps are working and the lights are on, hide your fish food. Tell them that your fish don't need to be fed. You're better off not doing that. If the lights go out, let them go out. Don't let your neighbor feed your fish.
Thank goodness I found you before I went on my trip.
Now, hopefully you have this set up before you go anywhere, so
Right.
you feel confident
Although-
in your tank and you trust it, and try it out
Right.
before you leave so you feel good.
Although we
let
did
'em
have
go.
a neighbor.
Let them go for a month with no food and see how it goes. You'll
Or
be
a week.
amazed.
Try it again in a week.
Green did it for 6 months. For 6 months, he did not put food in his tank except to feed his frogs. And that's critical because the frogs require larger live food. They're not going to survive on little bits of algae and tiny microscopic stuff. They're not a fish. They're a reptile. They require a different kind of feeding. So he fed them little bloodworms. Yeah, I'll be right back. Thank you. I got somebody here. What
Okay.
time is it? What are we
It
doing?
is 9:56.
9:56, Father
Oh,
Fish.
Hey,
Well,
Joe
good. We
just wanted,
did it. Go ahead.
Joe wanted to know if you had a tiger centipedes. Is that right?
Do you
Think-
sell? Yeah.
Do you
You
sell
ever
them?
sell them?
I have some centipedes. I don't think I have tigers.
Okay.
I do have a few centipedes.
All right.
Also, is new tank syndrome a sign of overfeeding too much
Yeah.
food too soon?
Excuse me.
What was the question?
Is new tank syndrome a sign of overfeeding or too much food too soon?
New tank syndrome.
Like
What
I
do
guess
you
when it
mean?
turns cloudy.
That's a common thing that comes up is new tank syndrome. Do you have it?
Oh
No.
yeah.
No,
Yep.
I never get new tank syndrome. With the
I've
deep
heard of
set,
old tank syndrome.
with the deep, yeah, really, with the deep substrate, you do not get new tank syndrome. It doesn't happen.
All right.
Okay,
just-
we're good to go here. I'm gonna put Lee on. We're gonna sing our way off.
Righty.
Yep. Oh, y'all check out Daniken. He's got a new shop tour of Father Fish too.
Sort this one
Nice.
out.
Bye, all.
Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that can be. Let's talk about fish.
Where'd he go?
Fish.
I don't know.
Fish.
Cut out. It cut out.
Instrumental break.
Alan. Happy Friday, y'all.
Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish.
I think we need a new song.
Let's talk about fish.
Oh, this is our classic.
Fish. Let's talk about you
Getting
and
old song syndrome.
about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish.
Fish.
Let's talk about fish.
He
Fish.
might just leave us up. There he is.
Guys, I'm not going to do that to
I think
you.
that one will be.
We'll just
Have a great
leave.
day. Happy
Bye, guys.
Friday, y'all.
Wonderful day. Bye bye, everybody.
You too. Bye bye.
Thank you.